What's going on, traders? What is going on? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat, please. You should be able to hear me loud and clear. Here comes... What? Yeah, get those likes up, please. Family, get those likes up for me. 300 members so far. At least get me to 100. Come on, baby. Hey! Who's had a good week? Who has had a good week? Talk about Wednesday, man. What an absolute monster day. What a monster day. This call on gold, man. And I know a lot of you took it. And for those that took it, thank you for sharing your post with me. Some of you sent it to my email. Some sent it to Instagram. Absolute phenomenal. But seeing price push where it pushed was crazy, man. What a move. Today's also a monster day as well. I know, I've seen the markets. And yeah, some great trades. I haven't personally traded there. Took a couple trades yesterday. I'll share them with you. Yeah, but some of those moves have been insane, especially like GJ, GU. They've been crazy. So welcome to the session, everybody. It's Friday. It's chill out day. Yeah, some people just absolute muppets, aren't they? Absolute muppets. So guys, I'm not going to start. We've got 400 members. At least get me to 200 likes. Come on. Share the love. I turn up and all I ask you to do is just give me a like. Please. That's all I'm asking. Just for a like. Get me to 200, please. Alright. So I will share some things with you yesterday. We on Thursdays, I don't think I'm going to be here on Thursdays, guys. That's why you didn't see me yesterday. 800 pips, damn, on euro yen. Oh yeah. That market has been moving since the start of the week. 800 pips though. I don't know if you mean 800 or 80. I think you mean 80, right? Well done. So yesterday, yeah, so Thursdays, I think, just to be brutally honest with you guys, I don't think Thursdays is going to be the best day for me to come and live stream, as I'm trading live with my students and that. So I'm going to skip Thursdays. I'm doing my very best to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday at the usual time, which is what time is it? We're early today, by the way, because I have a meeting at 10:30. But usually it will be 10:30 to 11:30 pre-New York analysis, and the reason I'm doing that is so that we can catch the markets before the pre-New York Open, and we can catch the new 4H candle as well, so that we can get on the right side of the markets. Anybody talking trash in the chats, you're just gonna get kicked from here. Yeah, there's other live streams you can go over there, and if you're asking me dumb questions, it means you're not making enough money. So go put your head down, go read a book, focus, and do something good with your life. All right, start leaving me dumb comments. Go make some more money, please. Right, so yesterday, let's talk about this. So yesterday, again on the live trading session, it was a very good live trading session. We had so many opportunities to take trades yesterday, and I'll go through some of them with you before I go into the market analysis. But one of the first trades I took yesterday was this one here on gold. I actually took another trade on GJ, but I'm not going to go over that one. I'll go over this one, the Euro USD, and then I'll go over some other trade ideas just to give you an idea of some patterns you can be working with. So this was one of the first trades I took yesterday. I'll just remove this. You can just see the idea behind this is pretty simple. You know, here on the higher time frames or the intraday time frames, we have really nice structure that's formed, which is an intraday trend gone bullish, price failing to break highs, and then price breaking the higher low. So clearly we can see that there is a lot of bearish momentum in this market. So the idea was, once we tapped into 1823 here, as long as we've got evidence of continued bearish behavior, then we can see a potential continuation down to 1820 based off of the higher time frame key levels here. So I was looking for price to push back down into this level, which is an intraday level on the hourly time frame, as you can see here, which is the structural low. So after this candle closes bearish, the idea here is that I'm looking for price to continue back down, at least for one final push, especially during the New York session because of more volume stepping into the market. So once price pushed bearish into this level, the idea was once we break the structural low that we make a new lower low. And as you can see here, price pushed down and started to pull back. I did face some drawdown. I survived the trade and then I closed it out around 50% stop loss here. So only lost 0.5% on this one. It is what it is. It's part of trading. It's going to happen to every single one of us. But this is where I closed the trade. Now the idea here was I didn't want to hold this because it made no sense. If the momentum was going to continue down at this point, as we're bearish, then we should continue bearish. But as you can clearly see here, we struggled a bit. Okay, so with almost 600 members on the stream, can you please just hit that like button for me? And as I said, if you don't like me, then hit dislike, but at least get me to 350, 400 likes with this many members here. I'm going to continue to share trade ideas and my trades from yesterday and trades that I took live with my community. But I need you just to do one thing. Just like the stream for me, please. Okay, just like. Get me to 400. Okay, so that was that trade. So I want you guys to think about this, and ladies as well, to think about this in terms of an evaluation. There's something that I always talk about, and that's making sure you focus on risk before reward. And in this instance, of course, I'm anticipating price to get down to 18.2051 as part of a continuation move back down to the previous structural lows. But if price starts to show signs that it's not continuing to push bearish based on the depletion, based on the fact that price almost went bullish but failed, it went bearish again and failed, it's time to snap out of this trade and get out. So we got out with half a stop loss here on this one. We was analyzing USD CAD yesterday, and I'll be brutally honest with you, I let this one go. So when we was analyzing this, the idea was this. This is how we saw the charts. And based on the higher time frame, we knew that there was a very, very high chance that price will continue to push bullish into this key level. So what do you think I'm waiting for in this instance? So this is all whilst on the live trading session. Okay, so I've taken a trade on gold and I've closed it at half stop loss. Now here on USD CAD, I'm looking for a potential trade. If I'm looking for sales on gold, what do you think I've identified? You tell me, traders, what do you think I've identified? If I'm selling gold, what do you think I've identified? And please, traders, hit that like button for me. Get me to 400. Get me to 400. What do you think I'm looking for? Dollar strength. Well done, Danny. Good man, Danny. So yeah, I'm looking. Is that Danny from my community? So I'm looking for dollar strength. Okay, I'm looking for dollar strength. Now, if I'm looking for dollar strength, what am I identifying across the board? Well, I've identified a couple of things during this session. I've identified that the dollar is showing signs of strength. Where are we? Yes, it was a 15th, 430. Yeah, I'm identifying dollar showing signs of strength. Okay, so this move here was an impulse move. I don't know if you guys remembered this. I don't know if you guys remember this. There was some news about the pound with a strong move up. We tapped into a really strong level here on the higher time frames, and then we started to see this dollar strength kick in pre-New York. All right, it continued on throughout the London close and New York close into the Asian session before we move sideways. So we're identifying dollar strength at this point when we're looking at USD CAD. All right, so the idea here was this: if price continues to illustrate to me that the dollar is strong, because I wanted to sell gold, but obviously it didn't work out, so it is what it is, then I'm looking to take what on USD CAD? I'm clearly looking to take buys on USD CAD. So what am I waiting for, traders? You must all know by now. I'm waiting for price to break close above structure. Now, once price breaks closes above structure, this is a very good sign to me that, guess what? It's time for me to look for a trade. But there's one rule that I have. If the markets break out of a key level too strong in a single candle, then I can't take the trade immediately, because after every push phase, you have an exhaustion. Now, it doesn't mean that this cannot continue pushing bullish. I need to catch the exhaustion or the retest on intraday timeframes. So maybe the 5 minute or 1 minute. However, what happened is whilst waiting for that, the markets tapped into this key level here at 25.16 and just continued to push bullish into this key level. So at this point in time, I was like, oh man, all I needed for the markets to do at this stage after this breakout was just trade like this. Create a candle that just traded above the level. So that means that the next time I look to take an entry, I can take the entry on the break of the high here. And what that will create is this structure. It will create the break above the key level, and then it would have created the retest. And then after that retest, I could have then taken the trade. Okay? But look how it pushed higher. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for me, okay? With 600 members, please, guys, get me to 500 likes. All I want you to do is just share the love. Once we get to 1,000 likes, I'll stop asking for likes, okay? But please get me to 500 while I continue to share all this knowledge with you. It's very, very informative, and it can really help in your trading. So just support me by hitting that like button, okay, baby? Thank you. So that's what I'm waiting for, or that's what we're waiting for yesterday on the live session. Now, some of my students got into this trade already because, you know, we all have our own approaches to the market, etc., and you're all going to get into trades in different ways. So some of my students are already in this trade because they feel like this is a good entry. Now they don't have to wait for the retest, and they're looking for price to trade above the broken support resistance. I was waiting for one more confirmation. It didn't happen, and then look what happened. Okay, and I mean, it just happens. Now at this stage, you can start to get FOMO and be like, I've just missed the best entry. Well, it wasn't the best entry, but I've just missed the best possible entry. I'm not in this trade. Oh my goody gosh, sort of thing. Gold was supposed to go down, dollar was strong, and we've just missed an absolute banging opportunity. Now, as I said, some took it because everyone has their own variations of entries. I just have my own as well. We all trade the same style and concepts, but again, everyone perceives things differently. So I missed this one. Bummer. Could have been done. Live session would have been over in an hour and I could have just gone about my day. Anyway, we don't panic. We wait, we compose ourselves, and we stay focused. So what happened next? We continue to analyze the markets. I was thinking about taking sells here on GU because it only made sense at this stage. You can identify here that price is tapping into a key level. Once this resistance, the support got formed, the idea was that once price breaks below this, we can continue bearish. But I didn't want to take a reversal off of this, even though it was a very high chance that price will correct this impulsive move up. Psh, is what it is, baby. So anyway, I stayed out of that. Then I had two choices. It was either looking to take, I cannot remember what the choice was, to be honest with you. It was either Euro USD or one of the others. What was it? Does anybody remember what it was? Any of my students here? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I decided to focus on Euro USD. Okay, so I'll have five pairs, and I whittled them down. It was Aussie Dollar USD. No. So Don Vincent, you lot took Aussie Dollar USD. You lot killed Aussie Dollar USD, but I didn't take it. So I focused on Aussie Dollar USD, Euro USD. Okay. So anyway, remember in the back of my mind, what we're looking at here is dollar strength. Sold gold, stop loss half. Missed USD CAD buys, is what it is. Then I said it's time to focus on Euro USD. Current status of this market is showing signs of dollar strength. Current behavior, bearish. Current structure, bearish. What is the best directional bias to be taking this trade? Bearish. Now, this is the most important level here, 1817. Why? Because prices failed to break the structure for a very long period of time. If the market is bulldozing bearish, meaning that the higher time frame candles are pushing bearish, that's where the train is going. Where do I want to take my trade? I want to take my trade to the downside. Now, at the stage of taking this trade, this was the idea. If the market's pushed bearish into this key level, okay, then there's a very high chance that the next candle can continue bearish based on the higher time frames. So I'm looking to take an immediate breakout here. However, the breakout didn't happen immediately. So what happens next? The 15-minute candle opens, pushes bullish, and fails to push higher. We close with an indecision. In the back of my mind, I've got two choices. I wait for the breakout of 1816 and look for the retest and continuation down, or I look to take this trade as an immediate breakout. That decision cannot be made by anybody else but yourself. Under these circumstances, you have to ask yourself, what am I comfortable doing? Am I comfortable taking this trade as an immediate breakout because I believe that the momentum of volume is there, meaning that the markets can continue bearish, or do I wait for the retest? There is no right or wrong answer in this scenario. You must follow your own intuition and make that call. So we opted for the immediate breakout. So this is what happened. Now the market's pushed bearish. We have a depletion here. We continue to hold the trade, and as you can see, the markets continue to push down and push down and push down, but it keeps failing. We're almost, I think New York had opened. No, we was in this trade for about almost an hour and 45 minutes, but it is what it is. The markets continue to push down and failed and failed and failed. Anyway, we continue to hold the trade, and then I think just before the news around 2:30, you can see here the markets pushed really strong to the downside. The targets were around 1801, but this was a very important level from the higher time frame perspective, and we closed the trade here for a take profit. Okay, so this was this very good result for the day, to be brutally honest with you. Very happy with it, and yes, great trade idea there. So that was that. And then during the latter part of this the day, I took this trade. I didn't use a full risk on this because I'm not a reversal type of guy, but in terms of a intraday perspective, you can clearly see here the brick wall of this market structure was pushing bullish into a major key level. Once the lows and low was formed with a retest, this is where I took the trade yesterday evening, and yeah, that was my final part of the day. Now, for anybody who's saying hindsight, I'm just going to say something to you, dude. Unless you're following my content, unless you know what you're talking about, keep your mouth shut. Okay? No disrespect, but are you not listening? I said these were the trades we took yesterday on the live trading session. All right, my friend, get your ears cleared out. Now, that's that. Let's move on to the analysis. Okay, thank you very much for all the likes. We have 650 members. Welcome new members, and let's get on with the analysis. So, looking at the structures of the market today, let's take a look at them. The current behavior for the London Open has been very, very bullish. Okay, if you haven't been able to trade this movement up, then it just is what it is. To be honest with you, it wasn't the easiest of setups, simply because the structure of the market flipped. Okay, flipped. And as you can see here, the market has now turned bullish. Taking these flips is very, very difficult. All right. What I would say to you, moving into the New York session, is if this bullish candle can sustain being bullish, then there's a high chance, of course, we'll continue higher. Okay? We will continue higher. So my idea behind this would be to see the market sustain the break of this structural high. Now, this doesn't mean that the market is going to continue higher, but there's a higher chance that it would, simply because Rowty, let me just say something to you as well, my friend. You're either not reading enough books or you're definitely not making enough money, because whatever's coming out of your mouth is jibber jabber. Unless you have hardcore facts to back up the nonsense you're saying, just don't talk at all. No disrespect. But if you was here on the live session on YouTube, where you don't have to be a part of my membership, on Wednesday, I called gold buys live. I called GU buys live. I called GJ buys live. All for you to take for free. You didn't even have to study my content. And you're here saying that people don't take trades live. Why don't you focus on doing your 100 trade challenge, writing your trading plan and getting on with it? If you're here to talk nonsense, I just want you to just get off my chats, man. Just get off my chat, seriously. I'm not going to respond to you donuts anymore. I just want the moderators, George, if you can just block them from the whole stream. They do want to be spoon-fed. My days. All week, this week and last week on YouTube Live, I've called so many trade ideas for you guys. Rowty joined the community. She's. Rowty joined Rox's community and he's still dropping his comments. Come on, Rowty, man. Expect better, bro. Right. Looking at pound USD. Let's not waste no more precious time. You're right. I apologize, everybody. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Right. So, look. Current behavior in the market is bullish. The idea is this. We need to gather some information, okay? The information that we need to gather is the pound strong? Okay? That's all we need to gather moving forward. At the moment, we're identifying that pound strength. Breaking above this very important level here in the market, which has not been broken for a very long period of time, is the level that makes most sense to all of us. Multiple wick rejections for 12 hours. Every attempt to break high has failed. A sustainable break above this structure is indicating one or two things. That the structure of the market will either continue ranging and push higher, back to the highs, or the pound is strong and we might have a flip and eventually break the highs. That's all that will happen, okay? If it's going to continue bullish. So what I would say now, before we make any analysis, is we need to wait for this 4H candle to close. This candle's closing in 10 seconds time. The next thing that will happen is the market will pull back to create the wick before the continuation up. So let's continue as the 4H candle opens and let's see what happens here. Looking at Aussie Dollar Jpy, the analysis yesterday with my community was to see 82.48 or 82.11 broken. Once broken, look for the continuation down or up. Simple analysis because of the consolidation. That's exactly what the markets have done. Now, what's happened after the break of this consolidation here? Well, you can see the markets have tapped into the major low and immediately bounced off of this level. What do we expect after a very, very strong push phase? After every strong push phase, you'll have a pullback to make a lower high or a retest of previous structure. Current behavior of this market is bullish and has been bullish for the last 12 hours. Where do we anticipate the markets to go? More often than not, you're going to see the market come back to a key level to tap it because that's what it's attracted to. Key levels. So this is where I expect the market to go. What does that mean from an intraday perspective? Well, from an intraday perspective, you're more likely to be looking for buys than you are sells. Okay? You are more likely to be looking for buys than sells. But what we need to identify now moving forward is, are we seeing yen weakness? If we're seeing yen weakness, then we can validate that the likelihood of this structure is to continue pushing bullish. Does that mean it's going to break 82.04? No. And does that mean it's going to change from being in this bearish trend down to be bullish? No. But for today, What I personally would be working on is looking for buys only. Okay, buys only. So this is the level I expect it to come into. We'll do the analysis and continue to see what's happening across the board, but for now I'm looking at yen weakness and yen weakness, Aussie dollar weakness, Aussie dollar strength. Okay, let's move on. Looking at pound JPY. Now look at the validation here that we get. We're now identifying over here that the pound is showing signs of strength or the pound is showing signs of weakness. When we go back over to pound USD, we can see that there's signs here now of dollar weakness. We're seeing signs of pound strength. We're seeing signs here on GJ of pound strength. And we're also seeing signs of yen weakness. Validate that with Aussie dollar yen, we can validate that the yen is definitely showing signs of weakness. So what's the plan of action with pound JPY? Well, we've just broken and closed above a very important level here in the market, so we'll mark this one off. Once we scale down to our intraday time frames, we can just identify the highs and then we can identify the lows. So based on this time frame, what are we saying? Well, currently the market is still trapped in an intraday range. If the markets are going to continue bullish, then there's a very high chance that we continue bullish back to the structural highs. If the market starts to break above 152.62 and we see a retest during the New York session, then there is a much higher chance that we're going to continue pushing bullish. Now, because I'm not so much of a reversal trader, I don't want to be looking for sells at this key level. No matter what signs I get, I do not want to be looking for sells. I am personally looking for the market to break above 152.63 for valid or added confirmation that the bulls are in control, and then I'm going to look for the retest and then a continuation back to some of these highs. This would make sense because we're identifying pound strength and we're also identifying yen weakness, so this will be the best plan of action to go. Okay, if the markets decide to go bearish all of a sudden, then you don't trade, right? You make a plan, you stick to the plan and you walk away. You're not trying to catch every single move in the market, my friend. You're trying to catch a trade as part of your plan. So if the trade's set up as part of your plan, then you take it. If it doesn't, then you walk away. Okay, fine. So that's my analysis on GJ. Now that helps me to validate what I'm identifying here on GU now. So I can come back to GU and make a plan. So with GU, after the break close above 38.48, we have strong evidence now of pound strength. If the market's going to continue bullish, where are we going to tap into, or is the most likely area where we're going to find the resistance? Here. Now, somebody just asked in the chat, what happens if the markets just start to go bearish? Well, if the market starts to go bearish, then they go bearish. You either know how to scale down to your intraday time frames and identify behavior, and then you look to take trades in the opposite direction, or you just walk away from the markets because the markets are not following your plan, hence, and then for that reason, you walk away. I personally am not the type of trader to be looking to take much trades in both directions. If I've identified that the market conditions, so the market conditions are this here, if the market conditions are telling me that the pound is strong, the dollar is weak, the yen is weak, then I'm taking trades in line with that. That's why more often than not, when I make calls on my trades, like sells here, buys on USD CAD, sells on GU, more often than not, when I make my trading calls, I'm usually right more often than I'm not. That doesn't mean I can't lose a trade or get break even, but more often than not, I'm right in the directional bias. Why? Because I validate every trade with confluence. I stick to the plan of that trade, and then I trade in that direction if it follows my plan. Okay? Can I just ask, with so many viewers here on the stream, please hit that like button for me. We're at 618 likes. If you get me to 700, I'll be very, very, very grateful. Very, very grateful if you can just get me to 700, please. Okay, thank you. So let's take a look at USD Swiss Franc. Now, to be brutally honest with you, from Wednesday when we spoke about this pair, I do believe we had this impulse break to the upside. We entered another range, and then now you can see the market again is entering another range. I really don't know what to make of this pair. Most of my students have dropped this pair for a while now, because it's just not doing nothing. In theory, the dollar is strong. If you want analysis, the dollar is strong. The dollar is showing no signs of strength, and it's being resembled here. We tried to break above 91.97 and failed. I just don't know where to look for this one. So personally, when I'm in a situation where I don't know where the market is going to go, then I'm just going to put a red flag on it and walk away. Okay, so let's take a look at the next pair, which is Aussie Dollar USD. Now, this helps to validate what we're seeing in terms of dollar weakness. Now, I just want to make this very, very clear for some skeptics out there. When I talk about dollar weakness, I don't necessarily mean that the dollar is weak and that your weekly and your monthly and your daily time frames are now going to start flipping from bullish trends to bearish trends. That's not what I mean. When I say that dollar is weak, I mean for today, for the day we're trading, based on yesterday's news, today's news, or whatever's happened economically. The dollar is showing no signs of strength currently. Now, does that mean that the trend is bullish on Aussie dollar because the dollar is weak? No, that doesn't mean that either. What it means is that more than likely for the period that you're trading, so today, for the next 4 hours or next 8 hours that you're trading, there is a higher chance that the dollar is going to continue to be weak. Meaning, even if Aussie Dollar USD is bearish and the higher time frames or dollar index is bullish, it doesn't mean that this cannot continue higher, showing signs of dollar weakness. Because the way we would look at this is, if this is a strong push phase, what do you get next? An exhaustion. So for today, and trust me, you don't need to believe me, but I'm begging you to trust me when I tell you this. If you focus on what is strong or weak for the day that you're trading, even if it's for 4 hours of one candle, you will find yourself, after identifying or learning how to scale down to all these different time frames, the way you can manipulate the markets yourself using intraday analysis and trading based on the current price action and behavior in a single candle, you will make a lot of money. A lot of money. You have to believe me. If you don't, is what it is, baby. But you know, doing all of this stuff and that, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work and la-di-da, whatever, okay? Whatever you decide to do. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does. I just don't know how to use it, and personally, I don't think I ever want to learn how to use it, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is, this is all well and good. If you're being paid to be an analyst, and you need to figure out the forecast for the next 6 months, etc., etc., then this is all well and good because it works. But remember, traders, you're in the markets today. And the reason you're in the markets today and the reason why you've woken up is so that you can make some money. So whatever the market wants to do shouldn't really, in theory, be your business. Do you understand? Why is it your business? You just need to get into the markets and understand one thing here. What is it doing and what is it more likely to do next? If the behavior of the market is telling you X, Y, and Z, and you can decipher that based on the structure of the market in terms of trend, in terms of candle formations, in terms of how the markets are breaking structural highs and lows, etc., etc., then all you need to do is just wait patiently for that trade to set up in line with your analysis and then execute. Do this on a daily basis, patiently, without doing anything stupid like revenge trading, over trading, etc., etc. And then guess what's going to happen? You're going to make money. And always remember this, okay? Always remember this. If anybody wants to disagree with me now or argue with me now based on what I said, because I'm not using a daily, monthly, or I'm focusing on current price action as opposed to using support and resistance levels, let me just tell you one thing that you can't argue with me about. The markets will always create the opportunity to trade as long as you are patient enough. Think about what I said. The markets will always create a tradable opportunity as long as you're patient enough. And as we play the numbers game, every opportunity that you're patiently waiting for that then develops that you take means you still can lose, win, or break even those trades. But based on your strategy and your back testing, you know that if you're patient enough and you take those setups over and over again, eventually they're going to turn around and work in your favor. So any dumb trade you're taking, any any overtrading you're doing, any revenge trading you're doing, any lot sizes that you're increasing, any strategy that you keep bouncing around from is not going to work and is only going to fail you. As long as you're patient enough, remember this when I tell you it. I want this to scar you. If you're patient enough, the setup will always develop. 100%. Okay? So that's why when someone says, what if the markets go bearish, Rocks, but you're bullish today? Then it goes bearish. The setup didn't develop. I don't take the trade. But if it develops, I take the trade. And that's why yesterday I could take gold sells and take a half stop loss. And that's why I can feel very comfortable taking Euro USD after gold sells. Because as long as my setup, look here on gold, setup identical to Euro USD. One takes a small loss, the other one takes a win. But I'm always taking the same setups. Do you understand? Okay. Well, sometimes. 99.9% of the time, I'm taking the setups that I'm supposed to be taking. There are occasions where you're not going to take them, but it is what it is, okay? So, let's move on. Okay, so we're now on USD Swiss Franc. We burned that one, and now we're looking at Aussie Dollar USD. Okay, fine. So, I personally think, based on what I'm seeing across the board right now, we're not seeing much signs of dollar strength. For that reason, I am going to say that I much prefer to stick to buys today based on current behavior. Also, at the same time, I do believe that we have really nice plan of action here because we have a resistance that forms here based on an intraday time frame. Okay, we have a resistance that forms here. We have market conditions that are currently trapped between this structural high and low, but we also have behavior of this market conditions that's pushing bullish, making higher highs and higher lows. So if I'm looking for the markets to break above this structure, that will fall in line with the uptrend that's making higher highs and higher lows, and then I can look for a potential retest and then continuation higher. Now this is forecasting what the markets can do. Now, in the scenario, do you need to wait for the markets to retest? Remember what I said, it's your prerogative. Some will take the immediate breakout and some will wait for the retest. It's up to you. It depends on a scenario, but you have to make that choice based on your back testing and the data that you collect. Okay? So that would be my plan of action on Aussie Dollar USD. Next pair we'll take a look at is USD Jpy. Look. All I can say is this. We've identified what? We've identified that we're not seeing no signs of dollar strength, and we're not seeing no signs of yen strength. What happens when you bring two weak pairs or two strong pairs together? More often than not, the market will just range. Now, do we need to look at this behavior here to identify that? No, we can isolate it, scale down. Let's use the 30-minute in this instance, and we can isolate what's happening here on the 30-minute. Current behavior. Okay? You can see the market has been ranging. There's not been much bullish behavior or bearish behavior. We've had a slight break of this structure. Price is breaking back in. What do you do in this instance? Well, I personally would say that if the markets are ranging, there's a few things that will happen. Price will break close above a key level in anticipation of a continuation higher. By the looks of it, this is a corrective move based on the impulse move down. So if the market was going to continue bullish, this is where we're coming back to. If the market fails to break above this structure, I'm not looking to sell here immediately. Why? Because the current intraday trend of this market is bullish. While it remains bullish, price can trade above the structural high before then deciding to go bearish. And this is where I don't want to face the retest if I take the sell from this level. So what am I waiting for now? Well, if it's going to continue bullish back to 110.32, let's hold above this level. Let's look for that retest and then that continuation. If you're not looking to take the retest, you're looking to take price on the break of these highs, then you have to ask, do you have enough range? Probably not, so you stay out. And then if it's going to flip bearish, you need to see a break of this intraday trend line and a low to then validate a sell back to the downside. So the big question here is this: are there much easier pairs to be trading right now based on dollar weakness, yen weakness? Of course there is. So, you know, you have to make a choice in this instance. Personally, if I was trading based on price breaking out of 110 10 level here and then starting to break back in, I'm probably going to step away from this pair for today. But this is how I personally would trade it if I was going to trade it for the rest of the day, basically. Okay, so that's USD Jpy. Now, what are we identifying here, traders? I should have asked this question before I got here, but what are we looking for on this pair? What are we looking for in Euro Yen? Please, everybody, hit that like button for me. Get me to 1,000 likes before I end the stream, please. And I'll come and answer all your questions as well in a minute. But just get me to at least 800 to start off with, and let's get over. I don't think 9:30 works. I think most of you like 10:30 because it makes more sense. Because then we get the 10 close, and then we get a good hour session in before pre-New York. But I have a meeting today, is what it is. Hit the like button. Yeah, so in theory, we should be looking for buys on Euro Yen, right? Because we're identifying yen weakness across the board. So we want to see GJ go up. So if we get a break of 152.63, it's a great plan. On Aussie Dollar Jpy, if we get a break of 82.04, it's a great plan. Based on the fact that we're identifying here on Euro Jpy the same consensus, which is yen weakness, what can we be looking for on Euro Yen? We can be looking for buys. Doesn't matter about the structure here. We're looking for buys for today, for the next 4 hours at least. So what can you do? We're scaling down to the hourly time frame. Let's understand the structure. The previous behavior of the market has been pushing bearish, so let's not disregard that. And the overall structure of the market is bearish, so let's not disregard that. But what we can start to factor in is the fact that price is now violating structures for the first time in a very long time, and now we're starting to break above key levels in the market. Question is, if you're not already in buys on this market structure based on the fact that we've broken this brick wall here and we've put in a higher low, and we've broken above highs here, then what do you want to be waiting for? You have to close above this level, which is very important. Okay, do you want to take buys now? Well, if you do, that's completely fine. This is going to be your range back to the highs, which is 8 pips. Or you can wait for the real momentum of the market and more volume to step into the market, and then you can look to take trades on the break of this structural high, which gives you a much cleaner range back to the upside, and it also increases the range for you to be able to take that trade. Okay, so the choice is yours. This is how I personally would approach Euro Yen today. If the markets flip and goes bearish, I don't really care. But if it continues with my bias and the consensus of the market based on what I've analyzed up until now, this is how I'm taking the trade. Okay. USD CAD. USD CAD was absolutely certified yesterday. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful break of these highs here, and then the continuation higher. What's the consensus of the market right now? Some people in the chat are screaming dollar strength. I mean, I don't know how you're seeing dollar strength for the last 4, 8, what comes after 8, 12, 16 hours. The dollar has failed to make new highs. Off of the back of yesterday's behavior, which was strong dollar strength, breaking above 25.38, tapping into 25.90, price is not breaking highs. So if you're going to identify dollar strength for the duration that you're trading, even if the trend is up, you're still going to need to validate that. At the moment, there's lots of signs of bearish depletion here and dollar weakness. So for that reason, you will need to see a 4H candle close above a key level here in the market. And then once closed, validate that and find other confluences from other timeframes to identify dollar strength, and then look to take trades. But as of now, the structure is not indicating dollar strength, and until it does, I'm sticking with weakness. Okay, so for now, I'm looking for the break of this structural low. That's it, simple. Once I get a break of this structural low, in line with the overall consensus of this market structure, which is price failing to make new highs, I am then staying out of the markets. If this behavior continues bearish along with the consensus of the market conditions, I'm waiting for the break of this low and the retest, and then I'm looking for the continuation down. Okay, this is how I'm going to take the trade. Now, even if you identify this as dollar strength, for whatever reason you're identifying this as dollar strength, you still need to identify a clear trend to the upside. Okay, now I'll just let you know that this is not a clear trend to the upside. No matter how badly you want this to be a clear trend to the upside, this is not a clear trend to the upside, because currently the market conditions have created a higher low from an intraday perspective, which is this level here. From an intraday perspective, you have to understand something. If the market conditions are creating structural highs, higher lows, highs, higher lows, then in theory, at this point where price finds a support, price should continue higher. But the behavior switches after the break of the lows here, and now you start to create an intraday behavioral basis, which is down like so. So this is not a trend to the upside, because if it's a trend to the upside, okay, then what happens is you start to go against the behavior. And once you go against the behavior, you don't have confluence with structure. And if you don't have confluence with structure, you're very likely not to be on the right side of the markets. Okay? So I would say now to see this go bullish, because the current behavior and trend is bearish, even though the higher time frames are bullish, you need to wait for price to start snapping out of some of these highs before even looking for that. So with the consensus of the market, I'm sticking to sells on USD CAD. And if it goes bullish, then it is what it is. I'm waiting for the break of 25.60 and then looking for a continuation down on USD CAD. Okay. So the next pair we'll take a look at here is Euro USD. Now, in theory, based on the analysis with dollar weakness, where should we see this go? In theory, where should we see this go? Traders, please get me to 900 likes, please. Please let me see 900 likes. And if you are not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And if you don't like me, hit dislike as well, because likes and dislikes help the algorithm, and yeah, more people get to know about the stream. Thank you. Get me to 1k before the end of this. If we get to 1k, we'll continue the streams. If we don't, I just take it like you don't really care. Okay, so in theory, current behavior of the market is bullish. We've broken above a major level here in the market where price was trading below for around 16 hours. The break close above indicates bullish behavior. What we're looking for the New York session, we're looking for price to take out structural highs. Isolate them and say to yourself this: current behavior is bullish. Market consensus is dollar weakness. Current confluences with euro yen is euro strength. And if the market starts to break these highs, we can look for a retest for a continuation higher. Simple as. Okay, Bob's your uncle. Whoever's selling from this key level, good luck, well done. If it goes down, well done. Please don't message me that it went down. I don't really care. This is a range, and in any ranging condition, I'm waiting for the market to break the lows or the highs. Then I'm looking for the retest continuation or taking the immediate breakout. Okay? I don't care if it goes down. Do you understand me? I don't care if it goes down. The consensus of the market conditions is telling me bullish behavior, dollar weakness, euro strength. If it plays out as planned, I'm taking buys. Do you understand me? If it goes down, I don't care. All right, so that's my analysis on Euro USD. Final pair we'll take a look at is Goldilocks here. Now, what is the behavior of the market with Goldilocks? Well, I mean, to be brutally honest with you, it has been super rangy. I personally would say, in terms of the current behavior, it is bearish. Gold moves in its own single way, so try not to use gold too much, because yesterday, as I said, we were looking for those gold sells based on dollar strength, and still the markets went up. Focus on the behavior of this markets, and if you're honest with yourself, you'll identify that it's ranging. If you're looking to trade it based on current behavior, the current behavior of the market is bearish, meaning that if we start to break these lows, there's a very high chance that we can continue back down to these structural highs, this consolidation that it just broken out of. This was the call we made last on Wednesday, which was a break of these highs back to 21. This is exactly what it did here. Now, I'm saying if the market starts to smash below some of these key levels here, then there's a very high chance. I wouldn't enter too early. I'd wait for prices to break about 18, 20, 16 to see that like strong momentum and that takeover from this consolidation, and then see it back down to 18, 14. That's where that's what I personally believe the last destination will be here for gold this week, if it continues to break below these structures. Okay, so that's the analysis for this week. Guys, get me to 1,000 likes, please. Please, please, please. We just need 44 more likes. As I'm going through the questions, just get me to 1,000 likes, please. And just add those dislikes as well. It helps. Okay. So I don't look at indexes because I don't believe that indexes are as reliable as looking at price action of currency pairs. Okay? I really just don't believe it. But again, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It just, I don't believe it. I used to use indexes, but I personally don't believe in it myself. So if somebody else believes in it and you believe in that person believing in it, and I've upset you by saying I don't believe in it, don't take it personal. It's just my belief. All right? It's my belief. I don't feel they're as reliable as looking at currency pairs. Yeah, dollar is involved in a lot of pairs. Thank you everybody for getting me to 1,000 likes. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much. If it hasn't broken my resistance or my support, then I need price to close above, and I would look for higher time frames to do that. Maybe on the hourly or the 30-minute, my intraday time frames. Once I get it close above, then I'll look for the trend to support it, and then the signals from the candle formations. Okay, not many questions today. Okay, is it okay to take partial profits, or should we wait to hit full 1 2 1 2 3? Because if we listen, always take profits, man. Always be taking profits. You can't go wrong. That I'm not going to give you a strategy for taking profits, but if you want the honest truth, always be taking profits. You must collect your data to identify whether you're getting close to 1 to 2s or 1 to 3s and seeing price turn against you, or whether you're closing trades too early and price is going for you, etc., etc. It's really down to you to identify that through your data. But if I'm brutally honest with you, I would say that the best thing to do is to make sure that you are always taking some money off the markets. Okay, so that's the analysis today, everybody. I just want to wish you a great Friday. I'm personally not going to be trading today. I'm going to be taking a break and I have some meetings to get on with. I just want to say thank you for supporting the stream, and as I said, all analysis given today is of my own opinion. These are not signals and this is not financial advice. If the market conditions play out as I've planned them to, based on current behavior and structure, then that's how I'll take the trade. If it doesn't, then guess what? Bob's your uncle. I'm done. I'm out. I don't trade today. Don't be that type of trader that thinks that they need to be trading every day. And just remember what I said. If you're patient enough, the markets will always create an opportunity. Just be patient, stay disciplined. Have a good Friday. End it well. Have a fantastic weekend, and until Monday, take care.